What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're going to finish up Gotham Knights. And we're going to finish it up on the 5950X for now, because I'm still waiting on a CPU water block before I can do the 13900KF and my MSI Gaming Trio 4090. So, and then it's got an LG C1, so it's 4K 120Hz, and that's why I wanted this GPU. It's finally a GPU can pretty much do that in almost every game. Still depending on settings. Still can't max every game out with ray tracing and everything and expect to do that. Not yet. One day. But anyway, why don't we hop in and have a look at some settings.
Well, let's get started on our main computer here. We're going to start off on low. Let's increase this all the way. Glad I noticed that. Definitely save. There we go. All the rest of this stuff will be off for now. And there you go, as I was saying, low to start with. Alright, to the game. Alright, let's get some low gameplay here. Yep, still seems to drop down to the same kind of 80-ish FPS. But we are at 4K now instead of ultra-wide, so that's definitely harder to run. But the 5800X3D is a faster gaming CPU than my 5950X right now. Now once I get my 13900KF in there, they should be pretty even and trade blows depending on what kind of game you're playing. From what I can tell. That's kind of how it works with the newer AMD stuff too. Some games the AMD CPU is better for, some games the Intel is better for. You really can't go wrong this generation, it seems. Which is great for us consumers.
Nice costume.
So I never really saw the point of fanboying over a certain one. Yeah, I have all AMD right now, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, AMD's the best, you should only get AMD, or, oh man, you're poor, you only have AMD, so you should only get Intel, blah, blah, blah. I see that argument a lot, like, you're poor if you have AMD, and it's like, no. You guys have seen my videos, you know I'm anything but poor. I wouldn't consider myself rich. I would just say I'm moderately wealthy. I consider rich like millionaire, billionaire kind of shit. And I'm not quite there yet, but I hope to be a millionaire sometime soon. That'd be a pretty cool thing to check off my lifelong goal list. But anyway, back to the game. Let's just keep running around the city a little bit more here. Definitely getting more in playable FPS though. But again, I wouldn't want to be on a 4090 and play on low. Just doesn't seem like what you would do. But still, we're just testing this out for science, and in case there is anybody who wants to do that, you know? I try to cater to all variables. Let's now do some medium, but first, of course, a quick look through the settings. Of course, we'll do DLSS and ray tracing towards the end. And here we are, we're in the medium preset now. I still got anti-aliasing off as well. So now, to that game. Now, for some medium gameplay here. Let's keep on zooming around. We are at 4K here.
A kit to build a giant fire breathing.
But yeah, currently we're using a whopping 55% of our GPU. Well, that's a big-ass cop building.
I'm sorry.
I guess so. Oh, here we go. Here's some people to fight. Let's go fight some people. It's been a while since I actually even found anybody to fight.
Thank you so much. Looks like we have some company.
I got you.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
people are a problem. I don't like you, so.
I won't let you win this.
I don't think you have a choice.
Ah, they're too quick. Get down! I'm firing.
No, you're falling. There we go. And now we can move on. Now, for high, we'll just quickly go through these settings so we can get back into the game. And we'll turn all these settings besides ray tracing on next when we max it out. I did turn on FXAA though. But anyway, to the game. Let's get a little high gameplay in now. So far the FPS is pretty much still staying around the same. No, I think we dropped down to 69. Alright, I guess we'll just jump from light lamp to light lamp. Alright, that's some like robbery. I don't really want to go indoors, so let's just skip that for now. I'll do that one later, when I'm not making videos. Alright, where should I go then? I guess we'll just keep going this way. Sure, not a lot of people in this. Walking around or driving around or whatnot. Alright, let's go up here and let's also move on. Now we're going to do highest, so let's just scroll on down. Now we got all these guys turned on highest, TAA on Gen 5 instead of Gen 4. Not sure how much better 5 is than 4, but hey, might as well max it out, right? Anyway, to the game. Now we got the game on highest, which is basically maxed out besides having ray tracing on, that is. And we're still getting acceptable FPS. We still get some stutters here and there, though. Alright, we'll just get on up here again. Let's go up there. Alright. Can we make it across? Sure we can. There's a giant rock.
Thanks for helping out around here.
Well, at least that guy was genuinely happy I help out. Oh, yeah, well, there we go. Now we know we die if we go in the water. I just wanted to check that out real quick. All right, let's go over to this water tower, and now let's move on. Now we're going to do some ray tracing. So let's look through the settings real quick here. Here we go, got ray tracing on, and then we'll move on to upscaling after this, which will be DLSS in this case. All right, let's go get into the game. Well, here we go with ray tracing, and it doesn't really seem to be faring any better than the 5800X 3D. In fact, I'd say it's slightly worse in study rear. So this has got to be something to do with the CPU. Had a quick little message there. Hopefully that ding didn't come through. This thing has pretty good noise cancellation, but it still has its limits, of course. Yeah, this is not very enjoyable. I think for now I'm just going to play this game without ray tracing. I haven't really noticed a huge difference anyway. Well, I definitely noticed the huge lag spikes. But beyond that, it doesn't really look very ray tracy. Time to do some DLSS now. We're going to start off with DLSS quality. Kind of crazy how ray tracing doesn't even work on a 4090 and a 5950X, huh? So I turned that off. But besides that, the game is all maxed out. So now, let's get back into the game and see how it does with DLSS quality. Well, here we go with some DLSS on quality. So let's just zip line around our city here. Man, this game in my 4090 is twiddling its thumbs so much we're barely at 60 degrees Celsius. Both the CPU and GPU are both just kind of chilling. And the CPU is water-cooled. The GPU is not. That thing just runs really cool with its massively over-engineered cooler. Because it's the same cooler that was supposedly going to be for 600-watt TDP cards, and mine is not that. And now that I'm seeing those little cord things, I think they call them the 16-pin NVIDIA adapters burning up. Now for DLSS balanced. And the game is maxed out. So let's just scroll to the bottom here. And then I'll finish my sentence I was saying before we got to this screen. Here we go with some DLSS balanced gameplay. And now to finish up what I was saying, I'm lucky my 4090 Gaming X Trio only has a 3-pin 16 adapter. So mine will be a lot less likely to burn, but I also don't have giant bends right at the connector. I have a very slight bend, but I was very careful not to bend it much. I tried to bend more away from the connector to try to hide them a little bit, but I also have a vertical GPU, so it was a lot easier for me to hide them. Other people kind of have to bend them to like close their cases. Not everybody has a giant Thermaltake P5 case like I do that's open air. So it's kind of a ridiculous design flaw. I understand not completely mushing it like 90 degrees and all that, but a tiny little bend should not matter and be burning people's shit down, especially on a $1,700 GPU. That's just silly. Anyway, though, why don't we go ahead and move on to the next DLSS. Now for DLSS performance. So why don't we look through these settings real quick. There we go. Performance right there. Everything else is maxed out besides having ray tracing on. That just makes it stutter and lag, and who wants that? So, back to the game we go. DLSS performance time now. And that's interesting. It doesn't seem to be making his suit, like, flicker and flash like it was on the 3090. Maybe the resolution just got, like, weirded out because it's ultra-wide. I don't know. But no, his suit's not flickering or anything. I just wanted to stop for a second and look. And also decide where to go to. So he does have like a jet glove to protect him from death. I was wondering what happens if there's no building around for him to, like, grapple to.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going up, up, up. Because I thought I saw something up here, and I did.
Looks like this is it.
Cool. Alright, and now with that, let's move on. Well, last up, we got some DLSS Ultra performance. So, still no ray tracing, but everything else is on and on highest. So now, let's go see how it does with this. Well, here we go with some DLSS Ultra performance. We'll just jump on all the way down here. Wow, yeah, this is some super low res now. And as you can see, his suit is flickering again. So it's not just like my 3090 problem or whatever. It must just be when it gets to a certain resolution, his suit just like flickers or something like that. And I don't know if that's just DLSS problem, a resolution problem, or what. But I just thought I'd take note of it. But alright, this looks like a good spot to stop. So let's move on.
Well, alright guys, let's get a little camera gameplay in now, but first let's go over the settings. So, no upscaling, because we're already CPU limited in this game at 4K anyway, so that really won't help as much as people think it will in that case, so I left that off. This game doesn't have that fancy frame generation, so that doesn't help us here either. So, figured though, we'll just go maxed out. It seemed to be doing just fine like that. Hit X just to make sure it applied. It is applied. So, now, let's get back into that game. Alright, let's get a little camera gameplay in now here. And so far, I'm not gonna lie, it must have updated or something, because this is a lot better than what that one guy was showing, unless he had maybe ray tracing on. Ray tracing was turning it into a stutter fest, but even then it wasn't dropping down into the 30s and 40s like him. And I'm pretty sure he had either the same CPU as me or a better CPU than me. Thought he had a 5950X. Oh, for a second I thought I could walk on air. What the fuck is that? Oh, we're going all the way up here, are we? Sometimes it's fun to go all the way up to the top C buildings looking for those, hidden little batarang things. Oh yeah, let's turn this up for you guys. That way you can actually hear it. I don't know how well the TV sound comes in. But yeah, see, we're not getting 100% GPU utilization, so that, to me, tells me we've got a CPU bottleneck. Because none of the cores are sitting there pegged. We got one that's at like 67%, and one that's at 50 and 40% bouncing around. A couple more in the 40s and 50s, but a lot of them are obviously just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. I mean, you can't expect a game to use all 32 threads. That's just not going to happen, but that's why I kind of liked it. The game can use as many threads as it wants. And then if I needed an alt-tab, or if I felt like doing some video editing, I can still do that and still play games. So I'm hoping I'll still be able to do that with a 13900K. Because I know I'm losing some real cores. Well, in a way, you got the performance and the E-cores, so... How good is an E-core? Like, I wonder what CPU it equates to. Because how funny would that be if the E-cores by themselves were even faster than this? You know? Like IPC-wise and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know too much about Intel other than I wanted to give it a try this time around. And I figured if either one I went with probably wouldn't bottleneck much at 4K. Probably, from what I've read, they still bottleneck at 1080p and 1440p, but I figured let's at least get rid of some of the bottleneck. So maybe instead of being at 74% utilization here, maybe we're up in the 90s or in the high 80s. I'm hoping anyway for games. Maybe that won't happen at all. But at least I'll have a nice new shiny processor to play with, so regardless, I'm happy. I just need my damn water block, but last I checked, it was at the Paris International Airport. So that tells me it's probably getting on a plane to come on over here. But if it's anything like my Go Chiller coolant, it sat in customs for literally like 3 weeks. So I hope that doesn't happen. And it just gets shooed like right through. You can like just look through it like with whatchamacallit, X-ray, and tell it's just a CPU water block. It's not drugs or anything like that. So I don't know what took so long with that, the Go Chiller stuff, but that was also during the pandemic. So now that that's pretty much done with for the most part, then maybe it won't be so bad this time around. But time will tell. I really don't want to have to wait until what Amazon said. Amazon said, oh yeah, you'll get it by November 9th to December 2nd. I was like, I don't want to wait that long to build my computer. Like, sure, I can still enjoy it like this, but I feel like it could be so much smoother and so much better with that 13900KF. Because that's, regardless, still much faster than this CPU. It might not be too much better than its predecessor, but I think it's still better than that, too. I was watching some other video, like Frame Chaser or something, that said it was only like 1% better or something than the 12900K. But I never had one of those, so I won't know the difference. I don't think anybody that had like a 12th gen should really upgrade. There's really no need. Unless you've got a 4090 and you want to get like crazy FPS at the other lower resolutions. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, I think you should be at 4K for this GPU no matter what. Otherwise, it's kind of honestly just a waste. I was just checking the time on the thing. Go for another minute or so. I just didn't want to go not look down all of a sudden and be like, oh shit, it's been like 20 minutes of just camera gameplay. That's way too much. We don't need that much. So yeah, if there's already been an update, like maybe the laptop needs to update and I'll have to redo all that again because I didn't see an update beforehand. And I refuse to believe that that thing is just going to stay at like no CPU clock or GPU clocks. Well, this one just stays at 2600. My 3090 stayed at like relatively high clocks. That one bounces kind of all over the place, but it still stayed up high. It didn't stay at no 900, 500 like my Steam Deck and my 6900M or 6800M, excuse me. Alright though, I think that's good enough. Why don't we go ahead and wrap this video on up now? Alright guys, that is a wrap for Gotham Knights. And it definitely ran okay on both my NVIDIA desktops, but they're also very much more powerful than my laptop, but the laptop's not so weak it should have been getting the performance it got. It wasn't clocking the GPU up. Maybe there's like a driver update, but I looked for drivers and I didn't see a driver update for it either. But maybe there's going to be one soon, just like with the last game I did, Plague's Tale. But this one just seemed to be completely just unoptimized. Plague Tale seems slightly unoptimized, but also hard to run. Because it is a truly next-gen game. I don't believe that one's on the old-gen consoles. I think it's just on Series X and PS5. So, I think that's what happens when you exclude those. But still, my laptop is just about as strong as a PS5 and a Series X. CPU dominates their CPUs, but the GPUs trade blows in different areas. Some things are better about them, some things are better about mine. It's hard to really say which one's 100% flawlessly superior. Anyway, that's about all I got for you guys for this particular video. I have a long road ahead of me of doing voiceovers now, but definitely going to eat dinner first, because I'm probably going to be up till almost 11 to midnight just doing voiceovers and editing and all that stuff. But whatever, I'll still have like a couple hours till like 2, 3 of a.m. and do a little gaming and whatnot just to wind down. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And until the next one, peace out, guys.